Hi there YouTubers, it's Baldrick here. Now, this episode is another one of my Let's Edit. As you can see, as I go to the screen, we have a whole bunch of photos that I have taken of Anthony during the afternoon time, where we actually have this beautiful afternoon sunlight come through just under our nice big tree that we have out the back. Now, this is the perfect time. This is what they call golden hour. And some people might say, oh, some of these shots, you see a fence or you see a bit of a tree sticking out of the side. But what I can actually see is opportunities to improve the photo via editing. So let's have a look. The first couple, he is running towards the camera and there's not really a lot that are standing out for me at this stage until I start getting here. When you start seeing this kind of halo effect happening in your photos, that's when you start saying, okay, start sticking with those photos and start editing them, because no matter which way you go, color or black and white, you could actually get a very nice photo. So what I've done is I've done a few. And if you look down, as you can see, they're going through there. Some of them are black and white, but I'm actually going to go through the process of the editing right now. So, and all the ones I'm going to work on have a 2-star kind of effect on it. So I'll go in the develop mode, and as you can see, it is very overexposed. Why? Because you have the sun streaming into the lens right behind your main character. So there are plenty of ways you can go. You can keep it in colour, which is what I have down here as the finished one. But with this one, I might actually go black and white, just to see what it looks like. And I might actually crop just a little bit, because I think this part here is a little bit of a negative space. And we make sure it's 2x3, 4x6, so that if we need to later on, we can actually print it out to a normal size print. So we just bring it in, just like that, just a little bit. Might actually come a little bit more in. Always leave some headroom. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go to black and white. And the benefit of Lightroom is if you press the black and white, it will go black and white and have your options here, but you can still go back to color, which is awesome. Unlike Photoshop, when you're using JPEG, if you press black and white, it deletes the color profile, which if later on you want to actually convert to color is a little bit of a problem. Okay, so what have I done here? We shall have a little bit of clarity, not too much. Now this, some people might be saying, "What, your sensor's a bit dirty with the these light orbs kind of appearing in the photo." No, no. That is actually insects. We have some very long grass here. During the summertime, I let it grow just a little bit longer than normal, and then I cut it back. So this was in the time when there was a lot of grass growing. Now I will bump up the blacks just a tad. Now you see how that's improving the shot, and then maybe the contrast. Oh, look at that, it's getting much better. As you can see, the halo is really coming into effect. We want to go... Oh, that's getting much better. Not too much. And then we want to bump up the whites. The whites in his shirt and the halo. And then he's looking a little bit dark in the face. The camera may have been trying to get the exposure somewhere around here. So we're just going to go up a little bit. There we go, like that. And it doesn't matter if the background does get blown out. That's fine. As you can see, nicely exposed. See, that's the benefit of RAW. You can increase the exposure, which shows that that photo, I would be very happy to get that printed up. On to the next one. As you can see, this is the black and white version of another one. So he was just standing around with his stick, and he was actually hitting him like a percussion instrument. So yeah, it was quite fun to see him just do that. And as you can see, I also do it in colour. The colour emphasises the afternoon sunlight around his head and down near his feet. And as you can see on his pants, that is actually lens flare. You do, if you're shooting straight into the sun, you will have the unfortunate effects of the sun reflecting within the lens, but that's okay. So we're going to go through, and here, so I told him to go back right to the end of the wall of our garden and run towards me. As you can see, the washing is out, so there is somewhere you have to try and move to actually get the best photo. As you can see, I power drived a little bit. As you can see, he's running. Now some of these shots are not in focus, and oh, look at that, back focused. But that's okay, the camera caught up, and you get photos like that. You get really nice photos, even though that red there may be off-putting. When you look at that photo, that is very nice by my standards, and it's another one I would probably get printed off. So we get to the main one that I would like to show you here, and that is these ones down here, the last few that I've done of Anthony. Now, he was actually sitting on his plastic ball that he got on his first birthday, which is a Thomas the Tank Engine. I'll show you here. There it is there. Now, as you can see, I lost the focus there. Focus must have just been behind him, but yeah. I got this shot. I was actually laying down. And what you do is to emphasize something, try and go below it. With this one, when I took this photo and I looked on the computer, I thought, I've missed it. Somehow I took the photo and I missed something. But then I thought, I'll edit it and I'll try and put it in black and white. So this is what I'll do. I'll show you how you can, if you're seeing on YouTube, you can probably see the one next to it is in black and white already. Well, this is me going to show you how I did that. Okay, go black and white. Now we want to bump up the clarity just a little bit, and we do want to do the exposure as well, so just a hint, just a little hint, because we have the sun coming in. As you can see, when you get reflective light, it goes white, so that makes it look even better. So I want to pump up the blacks, but there will be a problem. There will be one problem that you will see later that I'll emphasize. Okay, so pump up the blacks. Okay, some of you people might be screaming at the screen now that, oh, you can see it. Shh, the others haven't seen it yet. All right. So we want to get those whites going. I think I may have gone a bit too far on the blacks. Bring it back, just a tad. The highlights, we do like highlights. We'll leave it about, the highlights just about there, I reckon. Contrast, make it a little bit more moodier if you like. Again, if you're shouting at the screen right now, shh, the other people haven't seen it. Okay, I'm going to put you out of your misery. The face here, if I got that printed off now, that would be very dark. I have a calendar that I did for the family, and I left this face as it is. And when I looked at the photo, once it's been printed, it was a bit dark. So I went back and I re-edited on the fly down here. So what we do is we go to we go to the adjustment brush, and roughly that size. And what we do is we just paint just in this area, and to check the area, go O on the keyboard. Right, that will hide it. And what you do is you go into the adjustment editor option, and we just want to increase the exposure just a little bit. See how his face is coming back now? That might be a bit too far. Maybe there. Okay. That is where I would leave that one. And I would be very happy to get that printed off. Another one. So that makes three. Three already. And then we go down here. This is where he's sitting. Just looking at his Thomas the Tank Engine ball. We've actually got two more to go. I've just seen it. So, and again, I don't know what it is. I'm leaning towards black and white. I will push to black and white. And unfortunately, I will crop. I will crop this one. Make sure it's set to that size. Give him a little bit of headroom. Oh, I want to move that actually. And we just move that to maybe there, I reckon. That looks pretty good there. Right. So we give it a bit more darkness to it. Whites, pumped up the whites. Look at that. It brings back the t-shirt, the halo effect around him, and the light is reflecting into him, so that's okay. We just touch the maybe exposure just a little bit, just a hair. There we go. And clarity, we want to look at that. That is another really good shot. And as you can see, it's black and white, so that would look really good framed and on the wall. Finally, we're going to the last image of him where he's being quite a mischievous little child. He's looking at me now. I've been trying to tell him to go cheese, to have a bit of a smile, and that's him saying cheese. See, he's actually it's very sweaty because it was a very hot day. It was about 35, so we actually only had a little time frame to get out into the backyard to take some shots. And as again, I am going to crop this one, bring it down to 2x3. Now we don't really want to have much of the background in this shot. And of course we're going to go black and white. So we pump the clarity up to about there, do the blacks, maybe the whites. But this is where this photo again needs that adjustment brush, because his face is now less highlighted by the grass with the light. His face is becoming now in shadow. And now I could, if this was a formal photo shoot, I would probably have a flash, a light source just opposite him just to light up. But in this case, I think just an adjustment brush will be fine. Reduce the size of it using the scroll button on your mouse, and we just paint. Just paint on his face and around his hair, and we go in there and we just bump up their exposure. There we go. Look at that. That's perfect, and that's what I like. That's very simple ideas on how to improve photos that you thought were not available, like weren't possible. You can do. And if I was doing this for a client, I would definitely put that into some sort of presentation to show them the original and then the final product to show that I actually did some work for them. So that's it. That's my edits for the day. At the end, I will actually put, I'll just show the final products after the end. So thanks for watching. Comments and feedbacks and whatnot you can do down below. Thanks very much. You have a good day, guys.